I'd like to make a motion that we suspend JCB.
I can't hear you very well.
Sorry. I make a motion that we suspend JCB to a date, and we'll...
Suspend? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Suspend. I'm sorry.
I'd like to leave the date open until we have discussions, and we can include the date at that time. Until blank. Yeah, to suspend JCB until such and such date. And that's it. That's the motion. I'd like to leave the date open for discussion.
I'll second the motion for discussion.
May I speak to it? I'm just thinking that if we suspend it to a certain date, that we will, it gives us some time as we're learning more through the negotiations and where we're at. And it doesn't give the 8th grade parents more a definitive direction that we're going in. We're not saying that they can't or they won't be allowed to go to other schools. We're just saying, just so that, like as Dr. Littlefield said, that they're not jumping the gun to make these motions in haste for their students, because we are in flux. This just helps them know that at this time that we wouldn't be making any, that we shouldn't be making any decisions on that until we get a little further along in the negotiations.
We need the public on our side. We've had the JCB issue gone through. We need to trust the public. We need to ask the public to trust us, but we don't trust them by taking away their choice at the moment they're most concerned about it. And frankly, and I'll include myself, I don't feel that I'm more qualified to tell these parents what to do with their kids than they are.
And I think, you know, with 3 board members sitting on this board who've just gone through this process last year, we're a perfect example that 3 families made 3 different choices. So I would personally, you know, think that people would be offended if we then decided to take their ability to make a choice away.
You know, folks had, you know, we never had unlimited JCB, and we did last year, and it cost us a lot of dough. So I don't want that concept to be out there that forever we could throw as many kids we wanted wherever they wanted to go. So that's my take on it.
We've always had unlimited JCB. It wasn't just last year that we had it. There was only 1 year that we didn't have it. The fact is that the numbers weren't as high as they were last year. But to be clear to the public, all the time that JCB has been in place, there was never a limit. It was just the choice of the parents to keep it down. And I don't really think it's correct to say that that cost us a lot of dough. But that's a decision this board made to pay a lot of dough. JCB cost us nothing because the parents paid the extra.
Like if we said November 15th, November 20th, do we think that we would have a better indication of what our MOUs and our anchor school might look like by then? Or should we use December 1st from an administrative point of view? Because this board has said we're not in favor of a lottery, we're not in favor of first come, first serve, but we have people running to us already.
I mean, in answer to your question, I don't know any more information than you do.
Let's just say I'm a parent and I want my child to go to Pinkerton and I want to stop worrying about it. So I want to use JCB to apply, get approved, and that way I feel comfortable. Then if in March the vote goes through and, you know, Pinkerton is now an anchor school or whatever else goes on out there, it doesn't matter to that parent and that child. They already got their commitment, did their due diligence, they got approved. So I don't think we need to mess with JCB, approval dates, or anything else.
This board supported the Manchester agreement. And one of the things that I heard, and I'm not giving anything away when we were deliberating that, was We had to get certainty to our parents. We can't have them not knowing whether they're going to be able to utilize these other schools or not. And that is one of the things that came out of that agreement that I think was a positive. So now we have agreed to our settlement, which allows us to send our kids to whatever school, no obligation to Manchester, but they will take them all. So a good situation. You can argue about the cost, but it's a good situation. Why do we now as a board want to go put a restriction on that? Because we're not ready yet with our new policy. You know, if we're not ready with these agreements, shame on us. You know, what were we doing all summer? So why should we ask these people that are being proactive, that have been doing this work, to wait because we're not where we want to be? So to me, we need the public with us. This board has neglected to do its work. And now we're asking the parents to be put on hold and put in suspension to not have any certainty to their future. Because we have not got a policy together. That is no way to get support from people. And now you're saying, we're going to make decisions, you're going to put this fact out there, and you're saying, but we'll probably change the fact before the date. So if somebody takes this fact to the bank, because it's on the website or in the paper, and then they show up, and then we go, no, we changed the policy again. We're not going to hear you tonight.
That's not a policy, it's a fact sheet. And the fact sheet is a living document, so at our next meeting, when we work on the process, that question could be updated with, this is where the application is, and this is how we're going to do it on November 19th.
So
Document.
why are we putting in the fact sheet that? That's my point. Yeah, but why do we have saying that November 19th, we are going to make decisions?
That's what the motion was.
And you've got to make decisions on November 19th. But now you're saying, but we'll probably change that before we get there. That's deception. Do you understand how we have no credibility with the public? This is it, right here.
We're going to
This
move
is
on.